Whoa.
Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to our next interview. I'm excited today to have Isaac from Vegan Nation to kind of talk about this ecosystem that they're building. The idea is that as we build and take this vegan movement forward, we need systems, we need institutions. We also need a way to kind of pull our resources together so we can drive that change. So I'm excited today about not only learning a little bit more about Vegan Nation. I've been doing a little bit of my research online, but I'm excited to have Isaac here today to not only get me up to speed on it, but also get many of you up to speed on the great work that Vegan Nation is doing. What's maybe coming out next? Maybe we'll get a couple sneak previews if I ask the right question. And also to just really get a sense of how us as the vegan community can also support this initiative. What should our role be? Because I think it's important as we have more and more organizations, institutions kind of jump into this business community, as people are jumping into this landscape of working with professionals and also thinking about careers in this vegan landscape. It's really important for all of us to figure out our role to support each other. So I'm also going to maybe ask many of you today to make sure you reach out to Vegan Nation and see what you can do to help take things forward and move things forward, because I really think it's important for all of us to be active. So with that, I'm going to hand the mic over to Isaac to maybe give everyone just the foundation. What is Vegan Nation? And what are some of the initiatives and things that you're working on as our community really kind of learns more about you and how they can be active? And also, just welcome and thanks for being here.
Well, wow. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are. As they say, it's always happy hour somewhere. So, hello to you all. Wow, I think what you just described is the true essence of veganation. That was the inspiration to build a true ecosystem, to build the technological platform and full infrastructure to unite this amazing global and passionate and super activist community to both to empower the existing movement and also help lead it forward in years to come. And what you described about the amazing people out there starting vegan businesses, empowering vegan businesses, and really being involved more and more in the entire value chain of what's called a plant-based and sustainable lifestyle. It's our inspiration to really bring it into one ecosystem and help drive it forward as a true global economy.
Now, when you say bring it into one ecosystem, what does that mean? Does that mean we're doing using universal systems? Or does that mean that we're using applications together, tools together? What would that mean kind of in our day-to-day lives?
So the idea of veganation is, I mean, first I will share the moment of inspiration, and then it will ease into what it turned into. I was actually starving while I was cycling through the Alps with my girlfriend then, and I was starving, and I started thinking about. Or not thinking, but to hallucinate. And when you're starving, you come up with the best ideas. So as we were cycling in the Alps, and there's nothing vegan to eat there, and I saw these beautiful homes on the mountains, and I turned over to my girlfriend and I tell her, I'm sure there's a vegan person living in one of these homes, and if there would be a way for us to connect, then I'm sure they would love to host us for a good meal, and we would love to meet vegan people living in the middle of nowhere. And at that moment, it hit me. I come from a very strong communal background. I come from a religious background where I realize how a community can empower the individual and an individual can empower the community. And at that moment, it hit me that the global vegan movement is very localized in most aspects. In bigger cities, you have more benefits of the local movement, and smaller places, you have less. But we are not yet really working as a global community in a true global economy. And at that moment, I realized that it's my passion and mission to take this idea and make it into a reality. I come from a real estate background. I had no clue in technology. I still remember. I asked my girlfriend, "Do you know anyone that can build an app?" I had no idea. And the way that I mean, talking about pivoting, I mean, this is the pivoting of my life. That moment of inspiration, I realized ideas don't come from an empty background, but if I had a certain idea, then it's meant to be, and I have to act on it. And really, that was the first pivoting in the journey of veganation. And from there, it turned into, really sitting down and thinking, what does that mean, a vegan nation? What does that mean, uniting a global community? How can the community as a whole bring to the individual, regardless of where they are in London or stuck somewhere in the middle of nowhere? And how can an individual, regardless of where they are, help to empower this incredible global movement and really help driving it forward? So the idea of the VeganNation ecosystem is to have one app, one technological platform to connect um, consumers, businesses, organizations, anyone that has anything to do with plant-based and sustainability, bring it into one ecosystem, starting with a directory to list all the businesses, not just food related, but food, fashion, health, wellness, cosmetics, accessories, the entire lifestyle that it takes to sustain what we're doing.
Mhm.
Which that will transition in the future into a full marketplace to buy and sell all those products. A digital wallet to enable payments between businesses and consumers, empowered by our global loyalty program that is the essence of the green coin. The green coin is our digital currency that we launched, and that will be the economic engine of this global movement. So, as I said, people around the world, any conscious consumer around the world, regardless of where they are, when they are part of this ecosystem, when they're participating, when they are actively helping to build this economy and using all aspects of the ecosystem, from the directory to the marketplace to the wallet, and incentivized by the green coin, then that is really the true building of a borderless vegan nation.
Perfect. I mean, wow, there's so many areas that you're encompassing in what you're building. And also, I love the idea of the connections. And because, like you said, becoming vegan for some people may be an initial individual decision, but to be able to elevate that connection at a global level, to be able to tap into resources or individuals really around the world, whether you're building a business, whether you have a plan or an idea, whether you just want feedback, whether you just want to find like minded vegans, because I think, as vegans, it's easy to think we're just like one dimensional and we're all into what can be put in one big box.
A
The
few
idea is that
different
we
machine huggers.
Yes, it's like we all have different interests. We have different backgrounds. We have different things happening in our lives. So, what also gets me excited about what you're building is it allows people to get support over their kind of life of being a vegan. Because as we all change and different things happen in our lives and different kind of life challenges we get faced with, I think it'd be amazing to be able to reach out to a community of people that are maybe going through it, have gone through it, want to give us advice and so forth. So I think it's really exciting to have that kind of long-term support and that reach outside of maybe just our local community. Because as you mentioned before, not all of us live in communities that are maybe as vegan focused, vegan supportive, or the availability may just not be there.
Absolutely. And I really believe, I mean, this is the life before COVID, but really before COVID, I've traveled the world and met and visited vegan communities all around the world. And it's just incredible to connect. And you realize, the definition of the word nation is a group of people that share common ideas, beliefs, and so on and so on. And there's no group of people in the world, I believe, that fits the true definition of nation, and it's really incredible to see. And really, there's so much that we can do when we're really to come together and to unite and to not look at veganism as it doesn't matter where you live, it's still on the sidelines of the other economies, sidelines of society. People still look at it as, oh, that's extreme. I mean, not killing animals is just wildly extreme. Why are you so extreme? And it's still there. And coming together really will empower everyone, regardless of where we are. And when we start showing the true, and we see this in the corporate world. I mean, when we started in 2018, it was still the corporate world was not talking that much about plant-based food. Definitely, I mean, sustainable fashion was on the very down low, and we've done some major shift in the way everyone's looking, especially after COVID. The
Mhm.
way the corporate world looks at the plant-based and sustainable future, and when we come together and really act as a global, as a true economic power, then the possibilities that we have and will be a lot bigger and stronger.
Absolutely. And I think that that power that we kind of can wield, in a sense, we can use it for good. We can use it for so much more rapid change that many of us in the movement are hoping for. So
Absolutely.
help.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
No, no. I mean, just for example, I mean, people always ask like, why a digital currency? Why a green coin? And I always say, I mean, a every currency in the world is used to drive consumer behavior and to drive economic growth. If we are truly bringing together a vegan nation and we want to drive the economic growth of it, the more that vegan people, vegan businesses are going to be part of this financial ecosystem, this economic ecosystem, the enormous work that the coin can do, that it can do around the world, is enormous. I mean, we did deals where we lease thousands of acres in the rainforest and the Amazon for preservation, and many other initiatives with the football world or soccer, however you call it, and with different initiatives that is around the world, from different animal rights organizations. The stronger that we make this economy and the coin, then the more good it can create in the world.
Absolutely. I definitely see the vision and see where you're going. And I definitely agree with the idea that we have to find economic strength. It's not just numbers that we need, meaning numbers of vegans in the world. We have to really think about where is that strength in creating demand for our products? Where is that strength in creating economy and really driving these decisions? Because a lot of things that are happening in the world these days are driven by other economies. They're driven by other processes. So to shift that, we really need an answer for people to move to. So let's just break it down because I'm thinking for some people, they're like, well, how do I get involved? Like, if I'm a business, how do I get on that directory or what's the process for that? If I'm an individual, what's my first step if I want to join Vegan Nation or be a part of Vegan Nation?
So, great question. And we're actually in the final days of the final countdown. It's the final countdown. But we are about to relaunch the Vegan Nation 2.0 app. And then businesses are going to be able to register. We already have thousands of businesses in the in beta. That we're going to have one of the most in the near future, we're working to have the most extensive plant-based and sustainable business directory. So businesses are going to be able to register. If they find that they're already registered, that someone registered them already, then they can claim their business. And then consumers, individuals, vegan conscious consumers around the world can join the app after November 15th when we relaunch it. And really, I mean, we have a lot of exciting stuff in the pipeline as far as activities around the world to grow the community, both of the members and the Vegan Nation community, and also really bringing as many businesses out there that are plant-based, vegan-friendly, sustainable fashion, and other different segments of the lifestyle to all join the platform and the ecosystem.
Now, are those things hush hush so we can't talk about them yet here? Or is there anything that you can share with me? If they're hush hush, no worries. I have another question, but I just thought I'd ask.
No, it's really out there. I mean, we're getting ready to launch and to go out on a global campaign. We have partnerships with some of the strongest football teams in the world, Brazilian legends, all really coming together. By the way, a lot of people are coming together around Vegan Nation, regardless of the name, but they're coming together for the sustainability aspect of what we're doing. We're really driving sustainability forward, where obviously the main component or the guideline of what we're building is based on plant-based values. But we are here to really drive sustainability and thrivability, which is the next stage. Sustainability is not that big. I mean, sustainability is not that good. To sustain something, I mean, if you go to someone and say you want to sustain your business, they will never invest. We all want to be thriving together, and that really comes again to the point that the more we share, like people are always afraid to share ideas, help, or like go out of their way to help vegan businesses. But we need to understand, yes, the idea of thriving together is nature. A tree is thriving. It's giving. It's not afraid of giving. It knows that it's always going to be coming up with more. And that's the idea. The more we give, the more is out there. And that's really the essence of what we're going to bring to the community, is to show that the more we give, the more we contribute, the more we take part in this global building, the more there is for everyone around us.
Okay, perfect. No, I agree. That ecosystem we need to be a part of, we need to be giving. I love the tree example because, as they say, like trees have these like amazing networks underground where a lot of these trees are connected. And you don't really see it, but the idea it does exist. And I think that's really a great, I think it's an analogy
I think we
for.
should have a separate. I think we should have a separate segment, because we won't get started now about mushrooms and how that ecosystem is incredible. That was the inspiration of the connection of blockchain to
Mhm.
what we're doing. Is that whole idea of the underground network of trees, of mushrooms, and how that connects to blockchain technology. That's a super cool thing. If you want to have another podcast, I guarantee you it'll be very, very interesting.
Absolutely. We'll definitely have to do a good follow up to that. So, if I'm a consumer, if I'm an advocate and I jump on the app, when it's ready, am I going into the app because I'm going to be using the green coin to do commerce in the app? Am I using the app to find some of these businesses? Am I using the app to find or create groups? I just want to kind of get into the actions and what's happening within the app. And tell me if maybe if I have it wrong too.
No, no, you have it absolutely right. So people will go into the app to find their local businesses. I'm talking about right now when the app relaunches.
Mhm.
The first uses of the app will be you'll find the vegan and vegan friendly businesses around you. You'll be able to go into the business and pay in the business through the digital wallet. Obviously, the business also needs to a business that is registered or claim their page. You'll be able to pay through the payment platform in the app, and then we as the VeganNation will incentivize you to pay through the app, and then that's going into the build. We're talking about spoilers. I'll give you one, and we can get back to it in 2 months from now. But we're building a really, really cutting edge and exciting global loyalty program where, if you think about it, again, we as vegans, we always shop in the small mom and pop shop around us and the cool vegan store, cool vegan restaurant that is near our house. And we are really connecting everyone to this global loyalty program where we are going to incentivize people to support our local businesses, our local vegan businesses. So that will be very, very exciting. And as we move on, this loyalty program will really grow and give you more and more in your day-to-day life, regardless if it's in small businesses or uh, large chains. So the first uses of the app will really be the directory finding businesses and payment and loyalty. The next phases are, as you described, the community aspect, connecting people, people being able to connect to each other, to share ideas. There's a whole really, I mean, there's super exciting stuff that we're planning down that road. And then eventually, really, the transition into a full marketplace where people are going to be able to buy and sell products, goods, and different stuff on the platform.
Perfect. Wow. That sounds like not only is it exciting what's coming out in November, it's also exciting to see the kind of roadmap of what you have to come. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'm going to shift gears a little bit and talk about maybe the inside the organization. Talk about kind of the things that you've learned over the last year and a half, because a lot of what we love to talk about in our podcast is that concept of pivoting. I find that as fellow maybe vegan business owners that are watching today, and even really our wider community, it's nice to know kind of the people behind the brand. It's nice to know what's going on, what's happening. And also, like you mentioned before, that idea of us thriving. It's, I think, important at times for us to kind of give people that behind the scenes look at our organizations so they can see where, yeah, sometimes we have to find a new way forward. Sometimes we stumble, but the idea is we always get back up and we continue to serve our community. So, do you have a story or anything you want to share where you guys have pivoted, you found a new way forward? Maybe you discovered something that you didn't realize before was maybe a great opportunity for your organization. And that was kind of a good aha moment for Vegan Nation.
Wow, there's so many of that, but I have to say, because you touched on a great point. Most businesses and I guess most people in general, it's very hard for us to really admit the hardships and the failures. And I think that creates also an environment that it's hard to admit that something failed or something did not work. That will create the challenge to really fix it and to grow from it. And I think we're too nervous to admit that something doesn't work and we have to shift. And I always, I did a meditation a few weeks ago, and part of the meditation was feeling like a river. And a river, you can have the biggest rocks down the river, but the water really knows how to go around it, and really nothing will stop the water from hitting its final destination. And that's really the mentality and the mindset of a startup and anyone starting a business. At the end of the day, it's our passion that got us, an inspiration that got us to start the business. I heard once a great line: "What is spirituality?" And it goes to inspiration. What's spirituality? It's moments of inspiration and knowing how to carry it through the rest of the time. And that's really the key for a startup. We've been through incredible hardships as a business, as a startup. Um, and we can give many, many examples. But at the end of the day, we need to learn that we're like a river. That passion that got us to start the business has to flow around any challenge that there is, regardless of what it is. So I'll just give you one example of a pivot, and but it's almost on a daily basis. You have to come up with pivoting between the what you thought you woke up in the morning to the way that you're closing out the day. You had to
Yes.
do something that was pivoting. One of the major pivots that VeganNation did is, up to COVID, we were building this global ecosystem and businesses that the entire ecosystem was exclusively working on the cryptocurrency that we issued, and the entire business model was around that. The selected businesses that joined the ecosystem was with that very notion that the green coin is going to be the only method of payment in the ecosystem. And as soon as COVID hit, and we understood that businesses are going to fight for their survival, that ecosystem is not doable anymore, and we have to rethink the entire business model, where we have to do whatever the business needs to survive and to continue and to grow, and not necessarily what's good for vegan or what we thought is good for VeganNation. So our entire focus and technological development has changed at the beginning of COVID. Like at the first few days, it was like, oh my. I was actually supposed to leave to London. I was supposed to move to London to launch this small beta ecosystem over there
Mhm.
in March of 2020, and that all came to a halt. And at the beginning, it was like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And everyone was really taken back. But very fast, we came together, and with our technological team and everyone around us, and my partners and everyone, we regrouped and said, okay, this could be the best thing that ever happened to us, and let's find a way to move on. And that took us on our incredible journey in the last year and a half of regrouping, rebuilding, redesigning our technology, bringing in new investors that really connected to this new model of building an all-inclusive global ecosystem. And really, it's this COVID time has been an incredible time to regroup, rethink, and get back out there.
Yeah, I think it's been interesting to me what's been happening COVID and the pandemic, how it's been hard, but it's also been interesting in how many new ideas, new perspectives, and also how much many of us have grown so quickly in our businesses. Some of it's been painful. I don't want to not recognize that, but I think it's pretty interesting how many of us have really found new ways we can serve our community that if we were asked a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we might have said, I wouldn't, maybe that's not that important, or I don't know if I want to do that. And now it's maybe even a dominant revenue stream for a lot of businesses, or a huge opportunity for some businesses to serve a community in a totally different way.
Absolutely. I mean, it really goes back. I mean, when any difficulty or any hurdle comes up, it goes back. I mean, you got to go back to that core feeling of why we started something or why we're doing this. And then, I mean, then the answers become a lot clearer. If we look at a problem, I mean, whenever there's a huge challenge that comes up, my method, I do two things. Number one, I go back in, think about the inspiration and that moment of inspiration that got me to start what I'm doing and leave the real estate world that I was doing before. And the second thing is always to think bigger than I've ever done before. And so whenever there's a challenge, I go back to the moment of inspiration and think bigger. And how do we reach something higher? And then that current challenge takes a very different perspective when you think about those two things.
Yeah, and I think it's so important that we all regroup at times, because we can get so far away sometimes from our original vision. Sometimes we can lose touch with it just because we get bogged down with just the day to day of running a business that has a lot of friction in it, that we can forget the things that inspired us. There are things that guided us in the beginning. And I sometimes think regrouping and getting in touch with those again can ultimately make our businesses stronger than they've ever been. So, as we wrap up today, I want to make sure one thing that everyone knows how to get in touch with you, with Vegan Nation, and get connected. So, if you can give out web address, social media handles, what's the best way for people to not only get connected, but also, as we're thinking about the app, where the app may be available so that people know, is it in Apple's and Google, or however else they'll be able to download it if it's a native app as well.
Sure. So first of all, it's VeganNation.io. And that's their website. The app will be available on Google, Apple, both. My email, anyone can send an email. It's Isaac, ISAAC at VeganNation.io, or I think support at VeganNation.io. You can always send an email. Our social is, find Vegan Nation on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. By the way, I believe that a major part in driving veganism forward is TikTok. What's going on over there is wild, and we can really use it for the best. I believe with every tool in the world, we can use it for the best, and I think TikTok can really inspire the next generation to do incredible things. So whoever wants to get involved, really, it doesn't matter where we. I mean, the app and the ecosystem is going global from day one. Wherever someone is, you can always join, reach out to Vegan Nation if you want to contribute, help, support, whatever it is. We're all here because at the end of the day, what we're doing is really uniting a community, and for that we need each one of this incredible and beautiful community to join.
Perfect. That is a wonderful way to say it. Thank you so much for being here. And I don't know if you have any final words of wisdom or inspiration you want to share, because as I love to wrap up these sessions as they're live and also as a podcast, I always love to inspire people because, things can be a little bit hard at times, whether you're transitioning to becoming vegan and you're feeling a little bit of friction between family and friends, and I'll just navigating that journey, whether you're running a business. And, there's those setbacks, those roadblocks, or those speed bumps that you have to take with, a stiff lip at times. Um, or just in general, I know we've all been going through a lot of change these last year and a half. So I always love to hear some inspiration or an idea from our guests. I don't know if anything you have to share or anything that you've used to help you through difficult times, especially in the last year or so.
The short answer is trance music. Uh,
Really? It's interesting.
Trance music has incredible power. I mean, every kind of music, but trance music to me has always been inspirational. It always takes me to the highest level. And but as inspiration, really, it goes. I mean, you said a stiff lip. I always say a smile can fix everything, and we really have to take everything with a smile. I mean, you have an incredible smile. So, I mean, it doesn't matter what's going on. uh, Really, I mean, personal life, business, relationship. I mean, really, in every aspect, I think we take it all way too serious. I think if we look at things as in a bit of a lighter way, and we can smile at things even if they're not comfortable, and still smile even during the tough moments. I think that creates a very different vibe, and really, I mean, I'll tell you this. I heard 2 3 weeks ago. I was at this place, and it was a guided meditation, and he said the most inspiring thing about a spiral is that you can leverage uh, your current space to infinity. People always think about negative spirals, but when you think
Yeah.
about it, a positive spiral, it doesn't matter. Like, people always think, oh, if I get this, if I do that, if I would be there, things would be better. No, a spiral, you can leverage your current space to infinity, and that for me was wow.
That it's good. I'm glad you said that because I think when we think about spiral, we always think of spiral going down. We always think, you know what I mean? Like we have that, sometimes things we unfortunately create a negative association, but I think it's important at times to break those because that's not the truth. Many of these things do have abundance, do have infinity opportunities ahead, and sometimes we just got to shift our minds or hear someone like yourself say it today to make us think a little bit differently as we move forward. So, thank you so much for being here with me today. Thanks for taking the time. Thanks for sharing not only some of your thoughts, and maybe I'll follow up and get a playlist from you for some of that trance music as well. But I also, it's wonderful to hear the work that you're doing for Vegan Nation and also you're doing for the community. I think it's so important to bring us all together and create that power and wield the power correctly for the movement. And I'm really glad that you're part of that process and part of kind of leading us forward. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone who's joined us live. Thank you if you're watching this as a replay or a podcast. We try to make this accessible to everyone so that you can enjoy this information, hear about new things if this is new to you, or get reacquainted with Vegan Nation, especially as they come out with 2.0 on November 15th. I think this is a great, great, great session that I'm hoping many of you not only listen to, but also share, maybe with a fellow vegan or share with someone that's starting their vegan journey so that they can get connected with the nation and also get connected with the great folks behind Vegan Nation. So thank you, everyone. Thank you once again, Isaac. And we're going to wrap up today's session. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you very much.